Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the lounge, WhoDey Lounge. On tonight's drink menu, I'm going to be serving my opinion and analysis for my 5 favorite quarterbacks and safeties that I would like Cincinnati to target outside the first 2 rounds. Don't forget to check out our wine selection in the cellar and our rooftop cigar bar. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. But first, Marie!
What?
Babe, can you go get me some more Cubanisto? I don't have any more Cubanisto, please.
Pardon? Mais ça va pas ou quoi? Mais va le chercher ton cubanisto! Lui non? Il est fou, je crois pas. Mieux.
To begin, I'm going to talk about my 5 favorite quarterbacks. Spoiler alert, I don't have 5 favorite quarterbacks. I don't have 4. I don't have 3. I don't have 2. I only have 1. I only have 1 quarterback I see being worth a outside of the second round type draft choice for the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, we're going to draft Joe Burrow in the first round. To double dip at the QB position, it has to be somebody really special. And I think I found somebody really special. And that quarterback is Anthony Gordon out of Washington State. He's 6'2". He's 205 pounds. Right now, he's projected to go anywhere between the 4th and 6th round. Honestly, I don't even think he's going to be there in the 4th round. But if he is, I definitely would think about it. When I think about Anthony Gordon, I always come back to the same scenario where he ends up getting drafted by the New England Patriots. And once that happens and the Patriots actually do draft him in the 2nd round, everybody will look up and go, wait a minute, what do the Patriots know that we don't know? And what do they see in this quarterback? And maybe this is the next great quarterback just because the Patriots drafted him. And that seems to be how the world works in the NFL. Or I can also see a situation where he gets drafted by the Carolina Panthers somewhere like the 3rd round, and he gets paired with Joe Burrow's old offensive coordinator from LSU, and then they go on to do great things. Maybe he will end up being like a developmental type of quarterback to sit behind Teddy Bridgewater for a year or 2. And then takes over the starting position in a couple of years and goes on to be this outstanding quarterback for the Carolina Panthers because of offensive coordinator Joe Brady. Now, these are my nightmare scenarios, or at least it was a nightmare scenario for me until this morning when I did a draft simulation on Pro Football Network's draft simulator using Roto-World's analytical draft board. That particular draft board is the draft board which I find to be the most useful for me, and we usually have the same type of grades, or I think I have the same type of grades as they do because they're the professionals and I'm just a fan trying to learn some things. And where they have players and I have players usually ends up being about the same thing. For example, this morning when I did a draft scenario, they had Anthony Gordon going in the 2nd round to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Anthony Gordon, for me, going to the New England Patriots or going to the Carolina Panthers with Joe Brady, I pretty much thought, man, those are the worst case scenarios until this morning. And I saw that and I was like, God, I couldn't even imagine having to face Anthony Gordon in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform, and that would be a good scenario for him. He could sit behind Ben Roethlisberger for a year or 2 and then become the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you know that they're looking for quarterbacks. I didn't even think of them drafting Anthony Gordon until this morning when I saw it, and I said that makes too much sense. Now, like I said, most people have him as a 4th to 6th round pick. Roto-World sees him a lot higher than that, and so do I. Now, a little bit of information on Anthony Gordon. He led the nation in passing attempts with 689, so take that in consideration when I read off the rest of these stats. He was 2nd. Joe Burrow was 2nd with the most pass attempts with 527. He was 4th in the nation in passing percentage with 71.6% passing. Joe Burrow was 1st in the nation with 76.3. He was 1st in pass completions with 493. Joe Burrow was 2nd with 402. He was 2nd in the nation in passing touchdowns with 48 behind Joe Burrow, who had 60 and led the nation, obviously. He was 2nd in passing yards with 5,579 behind Joe Burrow, who had 5,671 passing yards. Anthony Gordon threw 16 interceptions last year. That was second most in the nation. Now that's a stat that you don't want to be at the top of, obviously. Would you like to guess who threw the most amount of interceptions with 17? I'll give you a second. Wait for it. Jordan Love. Jordan Love threw 17 interceptions. However, most people think that Jordan Love is going to go in the first round, and most people see Jordan Love as the next Patrick Mahomes. And that's another thing. Everybody's looking for the next Patrick Mahomes, and I think I found the next Patrick Mahomes in Anthony Gordon. Gordon is the most apt comparison when you want to compare college careers and college styles and playing styles. Anthony Gordon is the most apt comparison to Patrick Mahomes, and it's not even close. He has the talent, he has the arm strength, he just needs the right coaching, maybe sit for a year or two, and boom, he'll take off. Very similar to another quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. But for this video, he's the only quarterback I see worthy of the Bengals drafting in later rounds. If he truly is available from the 4 to 6 range, a la Robert Griffin and Kirk Cousins in 2012, I would love to see that happen for the Cincinnati Bengals. I know most fans, their heads would explode, but me personally, I would love it. Now on to my top 5 safeties whom I would love the Bengals to target at various rounds throughout the draft. Coming in at number 5 is Darius Thomas out of Auburn. He's 5'10", 215 pounds. Right now I have him going in the 7th round. He's a fearless tackler. He's good in coverage and he has great speed. He tested at a 4.5 40. He has a pretty decent overall athletic profile. He has great production. He has 74 total tackles, 5.5 for loss, and 5 career INTs, depending on how the draft plays out. If he's there in the 7th round and we haven't picked up an extra safety, he's someone I would like for the Bengals to take a look at. My 4th favorite safety who I would like the Bengals to take a look at is Geno Stone out of Iowa. He's 5'10", 207 pounds. Now, I don't like his testing. He didn't test very well at the combine at all, but I love his tape. He's a vicious hitter. He's a solid tackler. He doesn't have elite athleticism, but he knows where to be. His football IQ is off the charts. He studies film. He knows where to be, when to be there, and it shows on film. That's pretty good production. He has 70 total tackles. He has 6 career interceptions. Right now, as far as the Bengals are concerned, I would have him in the 5th round. I might not draft him in the 4th round because of other positional needs and other players who might be there, but if he was there in the 5th round, I definitely would give him a look. My 3rd favorite safety in this year's draft, outside of the first 2 rounds, is Josh Metellus out of Michigan. He's 5'11", 209 pounds. He has a pretty good athletic profile. He ran a 4.5 40, which is pretty good. He makes plays both in the run game and in the pass game. He plays like he wants to be an enforcer, like he wants to intimidate people, which is pretty nice and something that's going to help him during his NFL career. He's a strong safety type. He can do some of the nickel linebacker things. He has great production. He has 74 total tackles last year, 4 tackles for loss, and he has 5 career interceptions. So like I said, he's productive in both the pass game and in the run game. He's projected to go anywhere between the 5th and 6th rounds. I would prefer him in the 6th round for the Cincinnati Bengals because of other draft needs. However, getting him in the 6th round would be great value for the Cincinnati Bengals and for any team. Coming in at number 2 out of Louisiana Tech is L'Jarius Sneed. He's 6 foot tall, 192 pounds. I have a 4th round grade on him, but hopefully he will be there in the 5th round because of positional value and because of other needs that the Cincinnati Bengals need. But like Geno Stone, I really doubt he's there in the 5th round. He has an amazing athletic profile. He ran a 4.3 40. He was in the 93rd percentile in the broad jump. He was in the 94th percentile in the vertical jump. So that shows his explosiveness. He's a good tackler. He had 73 total tackles. He had 3.5 tackles for loss, and he has 8 career interceptions, which is pretty good. He's a former corner and he converted to safety. So he has the coverage skills to run with tight ends, to run with running backs. He can even play slot corner if need be. But he's going to play safety in the NFL. I doubt he's there in the 5th round, but if he is, I would love for the Cincinnati Bengals to draft him. Just the idea of Sneed and Jesse Bates roaming the defensive backfield with a beefed up front 7 is something that I can get behind, and it's an idea worth exploring. Now, for my number one safety whom I would like the Cincinnati Bengals to target in the draft is, drumroll please, Patrick Nelson out of SMU. Right now, he's listed as an high priority undrafted rookie free agent, which means a lot of teams are going to be on the phone with him and his representative starting in the 6th and 7th round, asking him to come in and be a free agent. I think he's going to be well sought after as well. He's 6 feet tall. He's 216 pounds. He's extremely productive. He had 81 total tackles last year, 17 and a half tackles for loss, 12 and a half sacks, and he has 3 career interceptions. That is amazing production from the strong safety position. He can also play nickel linebacker if you needed him to, but think of him more as a strong safety type. Then he was 16th in the nation in total tackles for loss with 18. Now let me put that into some perspective for you. Defensive end Chase Young, who's going to be the number 2 player off the board in this year's draft, he was 4th in the nation with 21. Zach Bond, edge rusher out of Wisconsin, was 8th in the nation in tackles for loss. And Zach Bond's a player who a lot of people have slated for the Cincinnati Bengals in the 2nd round. So that should give you some idea of what type of production that Patrick Nelson is bringing from the strong safety position. And to top that off, he's the only defensive back anywhere near the top 20 when it comes to tackles for loss. Now, there's total tackles for losses, and then there's total tackles for losses. Now, this is illustrated by the stat total tackle for loss yardage. For this, he's 4th in the nation with 109 yards for loss. To put that into some perspective, Chase Young, once again, he was 2nd in the nation with 129 tackles for loss yardage. Again, no other DB anywhere near the top 10, 20, etc. So there you have it, my list of 5 favorite safeties whom I would like Cincinnati to target throughout the draft. Also, my favorite and the best for my money non-first round QB in this draft. I hope you enjoyed your visit to WhoDey Lounge. Please come back soon. First Cubanisto is on the house. Until next time, be careful, be safe, have a great day, have a WhoDey.